This week saw the release of iOS 15.4, the latest version of the iPhone's operating system, and the most significant upgrade to date in the current OS cycle. It brings with it the usual bug fixes and also a lot of new features, but in my opinion, only a few of them are really worth talking about. Many are extremely minor tweaks and updates. So in this video, I'm going to try and cut through the noise and detail what I think are the most important new features included in iOS 15.4. Face ID is nothing new, and over the past couple of years, wearing a face mask in public has become the norm. But face masks and Face ID are not especially compatible for obvious reasons. If you own an Apple Watch, you can already use the watch to override Face ID and allow you to unlock your phone whilst keeping your mask on, but that's not much help to you if you don't own an Apple Watch. There is now a setting that allows you to use Face ID natively on your iPhone while wearing a face mask, so no watch required. Head to Settings, Face ID and Passcode, and toggle on Use Face ID with a mask. Apple do explain to you that the accuracy of Face ID is better when it can see your entire face, but in this mode, Face ID can use your eyes and the area of your face around your eyes to establish whether or not it's you. When you set this mode on, your iPhone will run a fresh Face ID scan of your face, although you don't have to be wearing a mask when this happens. Note that you do have to be looking at your phone to unlock it when wearing a face mask, but the good news is that Face ID will now work for unlocking your phone, your banking apps, etc., even if you've got a mask on. Siri has been updated to include a more gender-neutral, non-binary option, meaning that a bunch of people can feel a bit more catered to whilst still allowing everyone to keep the Siri version that they've already become accustomed to, and that's got to be a good thing. And I was really intrigued as to what a gender-neutral voice might sound like, and yeah, I see what they mean. To set it, head to Settings, then Siri and search, then Siri Voice. It's only available in the American voice at the moment, so we have to go to American and it's voice number 5. Live text is a feature that I think Apple are really going to be going full steam with in future iOS updates. I've noticed that it's appearing across more and more of the operating system and getting a lot of attention in marketing. If you've not already tried it, live text uses your camera along with the smarts of your phone to extract text from whatever you're pointing your camera at in the real world, turning it into machine text. The big change this time is in notes. If I go to a blank note and then tap on the camera icon and choose scan text, the camera view appears and I can hover over the text that I want to insert and then choose insert. The text that you've selected will now be inserted into your note, so if you work with paper documents or non-digital content quite a bit, this could be really handy for you. Contactless Pay with iPhone is a great feature, but it can be a bit trigger happy. I've activated it so many times when I've been pulling my phone out of my pocket completely by accident. Now when you double tap the side button, rather than simply bringing up all of your Apple Pay cards, your iPhone will now insist on using your biometric to open the wallet first, adding an extra layer of security. Compatible iPhones now also support Tap to Pay, which allows users to receive payments via their phones, removing the need for third-party hardware like the little square terminals that you see. This does now need to be built into apps. I think Stripe are likely to be the first to implement it, and at present it's limited to the US. But the idea here is that if you're running a small business and someone wants to pay you using a card or with their phone, they can simply hold it to your phone like you would a card reader in a store. Traders at food markets, mobile hairdressers, there's loads of people who could benefit from this. Sounds like a great feature that removes a barrier for small business owners, and hopefully we'll see it gain traction outside of the US soon. Emojis. What more can you say about them, other than the latest operating system includes 37 new ones, including such hits as Can't Look, Crying Happy Tears, Love Heart Hands, Melting Face, Pregnant Man, okay, and Biting Lip. Yeah, people are definitely going to be sending a lot of biting lips from now on. SharePlay is an interesting feature, allowing you to watch content on your Apple device at the same time as friends via the use of FaceTime. It's not something I've used personally, but I can see why people would. Previously, the process was to begin a FaceTime call and then add the SharePlay content in that way, but you can now do this in a more logical manner by going to a show that you want to watch, tapping the dedicated SharePlay icon, and setting up a SharePlay call there. AirTags have been making the news lately for all of the wrong reasons, so in an effort to, at the very least, remind AirTag owners that the devices should only be used for tracking their own personal property and never people, Apple have created a new prompt. When setting up a new AirTag now in iOS 15.4, users will be reminded of this and told that tracking people without their consent is a criminal offence. In fairness, I'm guessing that the people who use it for this purpose probably already know that they're breaking the law, but a bit of additional safeguarding can't hurt. If you own a custom email domain and you have an iCloud plan that includes iCloud Plus, you can probably save yourself some money by migrating your custom email domain into iCloud rather than paying for it separately. For example, I've got a couple of domains, one for this channel, another for another freelance business that I have, and I've been paying quite a bit of money each month to host my email with GoDaddy. As I have iCloud Plus, I'm entitled to bring up to 5 custom email domains over to iCloud with 3 email addresses for each of them, and you can now manage this entire process on your phone. It's extremely easy. Head to Settings, click on your name, then iCloud, then iCloud Mail, and tap on Custom Email Domain. Follow the steps to set up the mail settings for your custom domain, and you can then send and receive email for that domain via iCloud. And then finally, not really worth a full mention by themselves, but still worth mentioning, you can now add notes to passwords saved in iCloud Keychain, and third-party support for ProMotion now exists, so expect to see all your favourite apps updating with this support in the coming days and weeks, which is a massive win if you own an iPhone 13 Pro. Like I said at the start of this video, there are other changes, updates and improvements, but they're all pretty minor. I feel like these are the main ones that the largest number of people are likely to see some kind of benefit from. What about you? What changes have you been most pleased to see in this latest update? Drop me a comment and let's talk about it. And as ever, if you found this video useful, do please consider leaving me a like and subscribing to my channel for more content like this in the future. See you on the next video.